I just need to rant for a second about being in varieties of service industries. Um, when you are dealing with the affluence, I don't like it when I find myself in a situation where someone feels entitled to this like fake version of friendship that they're forcing on the situation between me and them, because I'm being paid to be there. And because there's no quicker way to make someone feel hostage, and depending on the nature of the conversation, it can very much be like this kind of gross reminder of like, hey, we're stratified from each other. One of us has money and one of us is struggling. And it's just a gross feeling. It's just a gross feeling to expect um, ego stroking from someone who's paid to be there who has nothing to do with you. You know? Um, and I mentioned, so I was kind of I was kind of cold shouldering someone who was doing that to me, who I've like taken steps in the past to have less proximity with, mostly because this sort of thing. And they, you know, they finally considered the crazy notion of asking the other adult in the room how their stuff is going. And, but they asked if I was still buying a house. And it's like, I gave up on buying a house over a year ago. And said it over a year ago. Like, stop fucking asking me. That's the only thing that they can think of in the last year to even bring up that they know about my life. Um, and it's like, no, I had to give up on being able to buy a house. And like a ton of other shit has happened in the year since then. And but they're asking like where I'm working and stuff now, if I was still working at a place that I did work at. And I said no, and I wasn't going to get into that, but I wanted to change the subject because the last time I told them where I was working, they immediately went without telling me at all, in a completely different industry from where I know this person, right? They went to my job as patrons, but immediately started talking about me and outed me as trans during my first week of training. And I found out about that and went back to that job, and everyone was treating me different. Everyone was just, it was gross. It was really standoffish. I felt very uncomfortable and very violated. And it took me like 4 to 6 weeks to like gain the respect back from people that I was working with at that job, gain back the respect that I had like started the job with. So I don't tell this person where I work anymore, especially if it's going well. And but it's like, trying to enter in a little bit of perspective of like, hey, maybe have a little bit of sensitivity for the other adult in the room. And I mentioned like, dude, I'm like a step and a half away from homelessness. I'm working it out. As long as I get through the winter, we'll be all right, right? I was trying to blow it off and then also try to introduce a concept. And but of course, the only thing that they could think of to offer was like, well, you can stay here if it's that or the streets. And it's just like, it's not about, supporting you or making sure your needs are met or being able to like provide for you or gift in any way, especially since there is a big disparity, right? And that's not even a concept. Not that I was asking, but but to be immediately offered like, you can stay with us. And I was like, there's not much dignity in shacking up with people out of necessity. And also, just trying to like hint at like This is an awkward social situation. Why would I want that? And so I don't know, this was kind of like good affirmation and clarity for me that like this person genuinely does not have listening skills or a sense of like perspective and affording like dignity and agency to the other adult in the room. And so even after I very clearly said like that is not an option that affords me dignity, that didn't matter at all. We're just going to keep offering. You and your cats can all stay in this one room upstairs. And it's like, gross. Gross.